Hello, everybody, and welcome to the 2-year anniversary of the Lunaverse. Yes, I know it's been 2 years and I'm still working bits on Season 1, but you gotta admit, it's been a fun 2 years for all of us. I mean, I just love doing this series. I love doing the various fics, and I love doing the episodes. It's been a blast for me for a long while to actually bring out so many stories to you guys and showing all the different styles and the different ways that different people have come together. It's truly amazing to me that this whole entire universe was able to come together just based off one weird idea. And it's been great. I really am glad to have done all this for you because it's kind of a privilege for me because I feel like I'm giving something back to this show and at the same time also bringing out a whole bunch of other fics that some people might never actually thought they would actually have broadcast. And I really can't have done it without all you guys. Am I ever worried about the Lunaverse in general ending too soon? To answer that, I have to point to the Digimon fandom. Much like the Pony fandom, they've got some fan-created series too. All of them done in fanfic style, and I don't mean done as an audiobook series or something like that. They actually have episodes with their own Digidestin, Digimon, etc., etc., and some of them have been done as recently as last year. So, yeah, I don't have any doubt that it may take a while, but you'll see at least 3 seasons of this show. And sooner or later, we'll get to a grand ending. And even if Rainbow Devil Dash quits, I'll guide it if I have to. Shoot, I even have a finale written up all up in my head for this, if anybody wants to ask. But I was left wondering what I wanted to do for the anniversary. I mean, last time I did something special with it by doing a remastered. So, what was I going to do this year? I decided to do something really special. You guys know that I also read other fanfics on this show, on this channel, and I have a whole slew of favorites out there. But I also have 12 favorites that I consider to be the best ponyfics of all time. Well, this year, I'm going to grab my 12 ponyfics from my list, hit the little randomizer, and I'm going to pick a few to look up, and then I'm going to tell you guys how I see what would happen to the Lunaverse version of each of those fics. If, say, the Lunaverse was canon, but MLP, normal, was actually a show, was actually a fanfic series. Yeah, basically, what would happen if, say, the guys who did all these classic fics got together and actually did a Lunaverse version? What would be the possibilities? Now, I'm going to pick up probably at least 3 or 4 of these to do for you. And Trixie says that she has brought at least one extra one for me to do. Trixie, just to make sure, I'm going to like this one, right? Oh, believe Trixie, you are going to love it. You are going to have a blast. You know, guys, when Trixie pulls that on me, I get scared inside. And I find myself shuddering. Now, I should warn you guys, a lot of this will be improv. I don't have a script in front of me, and all of it will be from the top of my head. Kind of like what I do at the review portion of every show. So, forgive me if some of this gets a little slurred, or if I makes any sense stops. That's just me coming them off with right at the top of the bat. So, without any further ado, let's join us here as we are here at the Randomizer Memorial Library and proud to present What If? Lunaverse style. Enjoy. So, let's hit the old randomizer, Sally. And let's see what we got. First fic, The Immortal Game. Okay, so in this story, since the original did have Twilight get corrupted thanks to the machinations of Esteem and the others, we gotta start thinking of how much Trixie should get possessed, and would she be a viable target? Personally, I think since he is the element of magic and Titan wasn't an idiot, he would definitely go for Trixie. The perpetrator? Oh, it would still be Esteem. We don't have to have Esteem be related to any of the main six in this one. Granted, this would take away the familial themes that are connecting here and moving on with your life that was present in the original fic. But in this case, Esteem is probably a noble who has gotten sick and tired of the way the court has been run, has gotten sick of the constant theme of being corrupted and uncorrupted, etc., and has even gotten tired of the way Luna has raised it up. He wants something brand new. He wants it all gone. He wants it to where he sees perfection. And thus summons Titan and Terra to wipe the slate clean, so to speak. His target? The representative of everything Luna stands for. Her protege, Trixie! After all, Trixie has proven herself to be a master manipulator, a cunning strategist. She would be his weapon. She would be his tool to be able to slowly manipulate and use. Of course, Trixie's tricked into this by some sort of manner, forced into doing this, and Trixie can't think of any way out of it. What? Sometimes I see the Lunaverse Trixie as sort of a Londo. So, does this mean that since Rainbow Dash was the one who was possessed in the original, would Lyra be possessed since, loyalty for loyalty? I want to say no. Not in this universe. Rainbow Dash was chosen because of her speed. So in this case, Trixie wouldn't go for speed. She would go for strength. So instead, she would grab Raindrops. And she would force Raindrops to be her little puppet, to become nothing. Her rage would be the only thing that she would become identifiable with. So the way to break out? I would say have Cheerilee be the one to help her push through it. But what about Trixie? How would Trixie break free from her anti-Me's grip? Simple. She would use her own cunning, and the fact that her ego would be too large to be corrupted by some sort of infantile demon. She would not allow some corruption to take over, because no matter how powerful the corruption is, nothing messes to the great and powerful Trixie's ego. Oh, thank you so much. Trixie is so glad that you identify her ego. You're welcome, Trix. You know I love you. So, you can probably assume that most of the war scenes would probably take place in the same manner. Maybe some nobles would actually get off their rumps. We wouldn't see much of the main six's fighting styles, but we would get to see the Lunaverse trying out new things. In place of Pinkie Pie's Batman and weapon expertise, we would instead get to see more Cheerilee being a muscle mare, a wrestler. In the place of Rarity's swordsmanship, we would get Carrot Top making bioweapons. In the case of Rainbow Dash's awesome moments, we would get Lyra's own awesome moments as she proves herself to be a bard. Which also brings me to the blade casting. As we all know, in the fic itself, blade casting was a big part of the story. So, what would happen to it? Well, it would still be an element of there. Lyra would have a 12 mode sword, she would name Songblade. That a blade that was made from pieces of her own broken lyre. Oh, maybe Bonbon can also be some sort of damsel in distress, and Lyra could right in and save her, and they would have their wedding right there in the middle of a battle. Shing, 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 shing. We need somebody. Bonbon, will you marry me? Yes, here, right now, please. Princess. Fine then. Lyra and Bonbon, I now pronounce you. Oh, just kiss. Trixie would have a 3-mode blade that she calls illusion. Yes, she would be lower than average. This makes sense. Trixie throughout the entire story has always been shown to be, well, not exactly Twilight level of magic. Except when it comes to illusion. She's a god when it comes to illusion magic. When it comes to other fields, she's not that good. So, blade casting. Besides that, Rainbow Double Dash has gone on record to say that Trixie can't learn the offensive spells, any conjuration abilities whatsoever. With the exception of using a lightning spell. Beyond that, all she could do is just trick you and use illusions. Basically kind of like Joseph Joestar. The fights with Terra and Titan would probably be similar, but small altercations here and there. Probably no really cool, badass science canon formed by Trixie. Again, not Twilight. Trixie would probably find some way to outsmart Terra and cause her to fall that way. Which probably brings me to the main battle with Titan. In the original fic, we had a really awesome moment where Twilight goes into the Citadel, sacrifices herself, comes back as an alicorn, and then fights Titan in probably one of the bloodiest, gigantic battles that you've ever seen in any type of fanfic. So, does that mean that could be the same for Trixie? My little brother always thought that the Lunaverse version of the Immortal game would be a very cool action movie. So, and it would end with Trixie and the other main Lunaverse 5 riding on top of dragons. Which, granted, that would be cool. But I have to wonder if on the other side of things, instead of Trixie managing to beat Titan through sheer force of power, like Twilight did, Trixie instead pulls a Joseph Joestar on them all. By which I mean, just imagine. Trixie faces off against Titan. She starts struggling. She starts fighting. She starts using every single skill she's got. And then she has this tiny little smirk as he finds some way to trick both her and Titan into the space. And then she just chuckles to herself as she finds some way to send Titan straight into the sun. You can keep regenerating all you want, Titan. Yes, I can. Well, sucks to be you. The sun is eternal. It keeps burning. Good luck trying to Good luck reforming yourself for eternity in the middle of the sun. You won't be able to fly back. What? Burn. And Trixie falls, and everybody thinks that she might be dead for a while. There's a funeral, and that's when Trixie shows up again and reveals that she's alive. Cue massive glumping. And that's the Immortal game. Oh, I should also mention, I think Celestia would be a little bit different than Luna. While Luna was hesitant because she didn't want to take over for Celestia, I can imagine that Celestia in this verse would be way more hesitant because she doesn't want to become like Corona again. So instead, she would become almost Fluttershy like timid, almost afraid and second-guessing herself. Her confidence shattered. She would be even afraid to properly teach the girls how to blade cast and how to fight. So yeah, just imagine this to be a more intellectual version of the Immortal game, not so much of the sword-slinging, badass, punching, kicking, war scenes that you would get. Okay, next fic, what do we got? Hit the randomizer! Getting back on our hooves? It's called Magic Tutor. Look it up. It's in Season 2. It's done by Rainbow Double Dash. The only thing it's missing is an evil checker. And I have no idea how you would work the Awesomeness Dash Checker Monarch into the Lunaverse. So, next fic! Ding! Ooh! It's a dangerous business. Good choice. 7,000 unique views. Well, of course this fic's got 7,000 views. It's like one of the most awesome pony fics ever. Alright. So, in this story, we gotta consider who would get the horn rot. Either Trixie or Lyra. We have to remember that it's a dangerous business. The reason why horn rot was becoming worse for Twilight was because the more powerful of a unicorn you are, the worse horn rot is. The more it affects you, and the faster it travels up. Trixie is not exact. Once again, is not alicorn level of magic, but it probably would still have the same effect on Trixie. This then leads us to decide who would go on the mission. Now, Albus, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash made a good trio because, well, their personalities made a good traveling trio. Their characterizations, their skill sets, their ideologies, their abilities, and who they are, all made for a pretty impressive traveling trio, and that is another reason why It's a Dangerous Business Going Out Your Door is one of the most awesome fics ever. So, how would this change? I think for the traveling trio that would have to go, that would get probably the most out of their adventure, would probably be Lyra, Bardic Knowledge. So you could probably say that she was at fault because of something she did. Raindrops could stay behind because Greggy likes his Lunaverse Raindrops and Trixie ship. Leave me alone. Dizzy would also have to stay behind. This leaves... Either that, or you could have Raindrops go. Dizzy stays behind, as Carrot Top. Which leaves Charlie to go with them. So, this time we would be having... We would still have the element of loyalty, but now, loyalty and honesty, we would just switch out generosity with laughter. Which actually kind of makes sense. You have Bardic Knowledge, Equestrian Knowledge, and you have the muscle. Also, it'd be kind of interesting to see a bard go through meet up with the riders of Rohan, and they start helping tame those beasts. Or see Cheerly talk to the deer of Lothlorien. I really gotta reread that fic. Or even saying hello to the ponies, Glysdale, that was the name of the place. Or even meeting up with those antelope that are capable of high speeds. Shoot, it would probably be interesting to see what Raindrops' backstory would be of this case, because we could see what type of backstories would inspire her, and see if we could add something to her that would even add to her characterization. The World Snake scene would probably be interesting because, remember, the reason why Applejack Rarity and Rainbow got out of that scenario was because Twilight teleported and saved them at the last second. Not here. Trixie's not that fast. Well, one trick you could always say is either Luna comes in and pulls them out, or Lyra sings that beast asleep like a mouse. Everybody goes home happy, and the fic remains. Surprisingly, now that I think of that, not that much would change. Other than out of all the possible scenarios, it would just be a team change. You would still have a lot of the character development, and a lot of the story would most likely remain the same as normal. So, next fic, hit the randomizer! Ding! Sweet taste of cake? Come on, guys! What would really change on this? It's all about Cupcake and Carrot Cake falling in love with each other. Piggy Pie is still technically her insane self in the Lunaverse, so nothing would really change other than Cupcake and Mr. Cake would be talking about Piggy Pie in the middle of the sun. Not to mention, there's nothing really stopping Corey from being the same. He just would happen to probably be somebody who would be very, very pissed off about the Night Court. And beyond that, nothing else. This story would still be awesome. So, next pick! Light the sky on fire? Oh, now the randomizer is just effing with me now, isn't it? Again, this... Actually, it probably could work. You would just have to change the protagonist from Scoots to Dinky. And it would be about Dinky learning more to become Twilight God level of magic. Randomizer, don't let me down this time! Fallout Equestria. I've been waiting for this sucker. Okay. So, we gotta ask ourselves a lot of questions when it comes to this. One of the big themes of Fallout Equestria is that sometimes our best intentions can be ruined. And that when we separate and don't have anybody backing us up, our worst qualities will shine through. That is why the main six failed. Because without the others, they failed. Their worst qualities shone through, and they didn't have each other to back up. Because remember, that is what makes them a great team. When they're together, their weaknesses become less and their strengths become more. So, you gotta ask yourself when it comes to the Lunaverse a few questions. 1. Would Luna really trust the Lunaverse team to be the heads of the Ministry? I think she would, because they're still the element bearers. They're not as powerful as the main six, but they're still the element bearers. They still would know what to do. They're still their team. The only question then becomes, who would make the mega spells? Ditzy isn't exactly a muhahaha. Isn't exactly Fluttershy levels of, I just want to help. It made sense for Fluttershy because she would want to help everybody, and a scenario where she could actually guarantee everybody healing would be helpful, because that's the way mega spells work. Disney wouldn't do that. No, I say if anybody was going to create the mega spells, it either be raindrops for her acts of rage would make her think, okay, I want to take care of this now. I want to take care of this quickly. Let's destroy them all. Or even Trixie. Trixie isn't so much of a scientist, so I can't see her being the one to create the IEP. And thus, I don't think she would actually become part of the goddess. I leave that to Carrot Top. Carrot Top has shown herself to be far more into making potions, to me making drugs, and to know what type of herbs. So I can still totally see her working with the Ministry of Technology, Arcane Sciences, to make the IEP. Thus, in this world, it would be Carrot Top who would be part of the goddess. I would also see Charlie not so much as maybe the ministry worker for the Ministry of Morale, but sort of her own version of the Ministry of Awesome. Because we've seen her being able to sneak in and sneak around before. And being able to deceive. Lyra would probably have her own ministry. Lyra would probably be the Ministry of Peace. Or Ministry of Morale. And that would leave Ditsy the Ministry of Peace. But still, fate would still occur. The mega spells would be launched. I think, personally, if it were up to me, yeah, Steel Host would still wind up with Applejack. There's no way that the member of the Apple Trust can change that. Because, well, let's face it, there's really nothing that would change. Nothing that would really change Steel Host's destiny when you change it. Unless you want to say that Raindrops does get together with a stallion in her own ministry, and that would be Steel Host. It'd be actually kind of cool, but who knows? As for Trixie, again, there's that Londo comparison. I can still totally see her watching as everything fails, and then she gets the worst kind of fate of all. So that she didn't want. She gets thrown into stable too. And she winds up having a fall in there, and that fall ends up becoming like one of the legacy characters. So this leads us to the main story. Who technically would be the main character of it all? Would it still be Little Pip? Would it still be, or would it be, say, Velvet? A part of me wants to actually say it would still be Little Pip, because, as we all know, Little Pip doesn't have all that power. She's a one-trick pony. However, since this story is based off of since Lunaverse is based off of a one-shot of a few episode background character like Trixie, we gotta think, is there any type of side character that this would really fall more onto? And the other question would also be, would Ditsy still be a ghoul? Because remember, we still have that member of the Lunaverse team. She is still there. As a matter of fact, she turns into an element at the end. She's freaking laughter. So you gotta ask yourself, would Ditsy turn into a tree? Or would Ditsy be ghoulified and she would have to deal with the fact that she lost her connection with her element? Which actually would be kind of a cool, sad scene of just seeing a ghoulified Ditzy hanging around, just barely hanging on to the edge of her own sanity and not becoming feral, just looking at her depowered element. But again, this leads to the question of who would be the main character. A small part of me wants to say it would be Puppy. Another part wants it to still be Little Pip, but it's a different Little Pip. Maybe one with a little more confidence and a little more cunning. Although it's kind of hard to be a little more cunning than Little Pip. But say one who isn't the Little Pip we know and love. You know, the shy, goofy, easily embarrassed, neurotic, but snarky, clever, but still heroic, even if he does mess up sometimes, Little Pip. Maybe she would be Trixie's granddaughter. Or maybe it's a Velvet Remedy with a completely different attitude. Or maybe we just shock you all and it's actually Blackjack that gets born in there. That's the thing with Fallout Equestria. This is the one that the Lunaverse could have a big effect on. Because of just who these six are. And the differences between these six mares as opposed to the main six. Well, let's see. I've done Immortal Game, Dangerous Business, and Fallout Equestria. I did say 4, so Marcellite for user, yes, Trixie, I've got it. You've got what? I've got the fic. Listen, how about you hit that randomizer one more time, and then Trixie will bring out the last fic we could do for the anniversary. How about that? Oh, sure, Trix. Okay. Let's hit that old randomizer, people. Let's see what we got. Last of the Dragon Lords? Oh, randomizer. You spoil me. Yes, that's a good little randomizer. Why is that when Trixie laughs? I feel my backbone shudder. Okay. So, Last of the Dragon Lords, for those of you who might not know, is about Fluttershy discovering that she's the last of this breed of dragon slayers known as Dragon Lords. It's all about her becoming badass and her taking down dragons like they owe her money. So, this brings up an interesting question. We've already gotten the idea that Fluttershy can be this thing from how she was able to tame the red dragon like it was nobody's business from before. And one of the most interesting parts of any truly great Fluttershy is taking her out of her element, reminding us of her own inner strength, of her own charm, and her own inner will, and how she could win. So, who would be the fun one to bring on to this? Would it be Ditzy? We've never seen Ditzy control anything like a dragon. And besides, that would be too on the nose. Element of kindness becomes Dragon Lord. Raindrops would be nice, but I really don't think so. Personally, for my pick of the two more likely candidates that would be interesting to send on this journey, Lyra and Cheryl. Lyra, because Lyra's always got, to me, this knight thing going on about her. Her noble streak that leads her to helping others, no matter how stupid it may seem. It's kind of the reason why I love this girl. Well, that she's fun. And she's my second favorite character on the Lunaverse. Cheryl, well, it just be one more thing to add to her current roster of mysterious things that have happened to her in the past. You mean I've been a Dragon Lord all this time? Oh, of course you've been a Dragon Lord all this time. Why not? And this would lead to one hell of an adventure. And who knows, maybe he actually be her own father figure. Well, that was a pretty interesting experience. Who knows, maybe next year I'll grab all my fics. Oh god, all of my fics. And maybe bring them out. What is it, Trix?
One moment. You said... I remember when I said that I have one more fic up my sleeve.
Yeah, that's right. You said you had something special for this reunion? For this little anniversary?
Uh-huh.
So, what is it? So, one of my fics?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Oh, are we going to have some fun and say something about what would happen with Savior of Worlds in this world?
No, that's not it.
Oh, but I was about to say that Savior of Worlds would have Beast Wars Transformers in it.
Close, but no.
We would talk about something, we would say how the more infamous fics like Cupcakes and Rainbow Factory would turn out in the Lunaverse?
Oh, it's infamous, alright. It's a very infamous fic.
It is! Really? Very infamous?
Why, yes. It's a very hateful fic upon this show. As a matter of fact, you've actually read it.
Read it? Trixie, I don't read bad pony fics on this show.
Oh, but you have. You've done 2 chapters, actually.
2 chapters?
Yes. How about you be nice?
Yeah?
And tell the audience what would happen if Mykin did Starfleet in the Lunaverse.
No! Ah! No! Can't do that! No, can't do that! No, so much so! No! Absolutely not! I can't do it, people. I can't do it. Come on, guys. Do you really want to see me do an anniversary special where I talk about where one of the most hated, stupid, vile, repugnant, repulsive, horrifying, despicable fanfics ever to be done to Pony be done in the Lunaverse? Would you really want me to see play Starfleet is magic in the Lunaverse and tell you all about it? Alone? Would you guys really want me to do that? You wouldn't want me to talk about Starfleet. What would happen if I put Starfleet in the Lunaverse, right?
Actually, I kind of would.
I hate you! No, I'm not doing it!
Does Delta want you to do it?
Don't! I'm not going to do it even if Zolteon zaps me. Fine, you horrible people! Fine! I'm going to do it! I'm going to do the Lunaverse and Starfleet! But if I suffer any brain damage because of it, I'm blaming all of you! Now, goodbye!
Hey, I just got here!
Okay. Starfleet in the Lunaverse. So, since the first season of this pilot track is very far removed from Equestria, we can say that 99% of it doesn't have that much effect on the Lunaverse. What I can say is that what happens when the so-called Super Corona and Titans trio show up, they don't come to Celestia, come to a celebration in honor of Twilight's coronation. No, they come to Mardi Gras in Ponyville! Mardi Gras? Woo! Take off your top Trixie! Woo! Woo! Beads! Beads! Yes! Mardi Gras in Ponyville! And Queen Corona decides to... Here I am, doing an anniversary of the Lunaverse, trying to talk about one of the worst pony fics in history, and suddenly a shirtless man comes into my office. You know, I got this new studio. Just stop! Right, the bullshit like this happening, and I swear, if I see another half-naked man enter my studio for any reason, I'm cutting their nuts off! I swear! Why do I even create studios with security detail like that? Charmander, were you asleep? Yes, he was. Anyway. And so, did Super Corona and Titans Trio decide to not try to take over Equestria while Starfleet was doing bullcrap and bullcrap and more bullcrap? But instead, they decided to party all night and party every day until they all passed out drunk. Wouldn't you happen to know it that was when Super Corona pressed the planet self-destruct switch? Not that they knew about it. Meanwhile, Starfleet, we find out that Grand Ruler had a long sordid affair with Luna. That lasted all but 5 minutes. Apparently, he tried chasing her down at science camp, which led to band camp, which led to clown camp, which then led to Camp Crystal Lake, where he tried to go skinny dipping, and wouldn't you know it, that was when Jason Kruger showed up.
You mean Jason Voorhees?
No, Jason Kruger, which was in fact a Jason that was fused with Freddy Krueger.
What?
Yeah, after Jason won that fight in Freddy vs. Jason. Don't argue with me, he won that battle. I have an actual bona fide proof as created by a fanboy who loves the Friday the 13th series far more than Nightmare on Elm Street, so check it! Well, Jason took Freddy's glove, and then proceeded to chase the teenage Grand Ruler and Luna through Camp Crystal Lake when they were skinny dipping, and Grand Ruler wound up tripping over his own hooves and went into a dimensional vortex that landed him up on Unicorpia. There he was anointed by the gods, taught the secret to cloud men's minds, got bitten by 2 radioactive spiders, a radioactive mongoose, watched his parents die before his eyes, slowly, then watched his adopted parents die in a trapeze accident, and then hit by a random dose of chemicals that was hit by a lightning bolt after being granted the Red Lantern ring by Heaven Hasn't Been Seen! And that gave him the Trihorn power to be able to create life, and that's how he created Starfleet, but he always pined for Luna.
He pined for her?
Yes, he pined for her. He redwooded for her. He spruced for her. He oaked for her. He bursts for her.
Oh, how tragic.
I know. It's a shame. He could never get too much wood for her. I'll leave you all to hit me with tomatoes for that last joke. Thank you. So, anyway, when Luna winds up back in Unicorpia, letting you know that's when the big mean old Serpentire comes down and also hits the planet's self-destruct switch.
Wait, there's another planet that has a self-destruct switch?
Trixie, in the Starfleet version of the Lunaverse, every planet comes with its own self-destruct switch.
Really?
Yes, it's how Death Stars work.
What?
Oh yeah, don't you know? Don't you know? They don't say this in Star Wars canon, but I have it on recommendation right here in this book. Let me flip to the page here. See, right here, it says, the Death Stars are powered by finding out where the planet's self-destruct button is, firing, launching a shot, and destroying it.
Oh.
Well, after Unicorpia goes boom, thanks to stupidity, they all head to Equestria, which is also about to go boom, thanks to stupidity. This is what happens when you get too drunk on Viagra. Still think drinking is cool. And they all work together to stop the explosion and restore all of Equestria into United Equestria together. But, however, since everybody forgot to bring their green cards, it was a mad dash to see who would actually get the best jobs. When you happen to know it, Starfleet was just a little bit faster, so they all got the best jobs and forced everybody else to work at work camps.
Oh.
That was season 1. In season 2, oh gosh, why is Tracy afraid of this? We see that everybody is training based off of, I don't know, what random franchise can I rip off to say they're training in the style of, Mike and Hughes Lightspeed Rescue. Let's see, what were they training under the style of? I need an example here. Let's see, who do I got here? Piplup, over here! Pip! We need an example here. Piplup! Tell us your wisdom, old sage, Piplup.
Piplup, 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 Piplup.
I see. Right. Well, they were all training based off of that one training sequence episode in VR Troopers. Now, I know it seems random, but trust me. Well, on this one episode, there was this particular scene where they proceeded to have this moment where they wanted to try to figure out a moral, but I didn't really pay attention to the moral. I just wanted the explosion, so let's just do something that makes Trixie look bad. How about it, guys, huh? And then, let's all get a drink. On me. Meanwhile, that's when we found out that Cade's half-cousins, brothers, twin sisters, third cousin's first roommate had come back, but didn't come back in just any manner. Oh no. He came back as part Bush. My fellow equestrians, I've come back to have revenge on my sister. I've come back to have vehement revenge and destroy her. Not that kind of Bush. My fellow Americans, we need to invade this random country for no good reason. Not that Bush either! Trixie, listen to my call. You will go to Grand Celestial and tell him to let my ponies go, and then I will lead you to a land full of milk and honey.
And bourbon.
And what?
And bourbon. Trixie wants bourbon. She's going to go to the God of this world and tell him to F off and proceed to do all these cool plagues. Trixie is going to need a lot of booze.
Fine. A land of milk, honey, and bourbon. Are you happy?
Yes.
Fine. Now go and do my wonders. And bring me back a pizza. It's hard being a bush.
You know, I work hard. I studied. I do things for you people. I examine things. I have a little brother who I thought was going to be in this room, but apparently he decided to hightail it out of here. I try, but then you guys pull bad jokes like that. Okay, so maybe Fratello isn't exactly part bush in this story. He's in fact part snail. Meanwhile, Lyra continues to fall for, say, Bonbon. Meanwhile, Raindrops is starting to fall for Buddy Rose for reasons, because she liked the flowers, and Disney's falling for Artie. Dada! Because, Dinky needs a new dad, and, well, you know what? I don't think you guys really care about the other Lunaverse 6. I mean, why am I telling you the stories about them? You probably just want to watch sword fights and mega battles and other malarkey like that. Well, I can't exactly show it to you because we do not have the budget. Instead, I am going to have to describe to you the fights that happen in Starfleet Season 2. Sword slicing, clashing, ting, 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 blades, shurikens being thrown, hiya, really cool key attacks, boom, blast, I'm being assaulted, Oh, and everybody needs to die. Oh, and all villains need to die because that's the way the world works. Oh, and, wait, I'm sorry. I forgot something important in almost every Mindkin fic when it comes to Pony. I need to find some mare to torture randomly because they have a faith that I don't believe in. And I really hate the idea that they are living happily while I'm not. Gee, who am I going to pick on? Can't exactly do Cadence because she's not a real... She doesn't have shiny armor in this world. Corona? Yeah, too easy. Luna! No. I know. Cheerly. Cheerly is living the life that I've always wanted to lead. So yeah. During Season 2, for no apparent reason, the school blows up. Boom! Her home is bulldozed. And her comic shipment's a day late. No! Why? Well, meanwhile, more uninteresting character development happens, and that leads us to the movie. Well, it would, except Discord never awoken in this verse, so I can't really do any Discord jokes. But still, that was part 1. Maybe one day in the distant future, I will proceed to do the Lunaverse and Starfleet Season 3, where I proceed to do more parodies. I'll expect a certain unicorn who needs to die and learn her lesson, who I see is trying to get out of the studio. How about you just wrap it all up? Trixie will be downstairs enjoying your new bourbon. Ta-ta. Oh, I hate that mare! Ugh. But you know what? I love all of you guys. From the bottom of my heart. Thank all of you for enjoying this insanity for the past 2 years. From all the great fics we've done here at the Lunaverse. Hope you enjoyed the ride. I'm still going to be doing them, as always. Bringing out the great hits and bringing out the classic tales. Until then, I'm signing off.